All right, hello everyone. I am Ma'am Marilyn Noran from Asian Institute of Technology, and I am your subject teacher for the Media and Information Literacy subject. All right, so I promised section HERA and section ATHENA that I will record the lecture for the first week lessons because last Thursday, I had a problem with my data connection, and so I told you that I will record the lecture so that you can view anytime. So by now, you can watch it on YouTube as I have promised that I will give the link. Okay, so this is supposed to be an online interaction again last Thursday, but since wala na dayon because of the said problem, so now I will assume that as you listen, you are also interacting with me so that murag hapon tag nag-online class. All right, so a little disclaimer, I have no time to edit na, so this is a raw video of our lecture. But siguro next time if I have enough time, I can edit and put some effects and other videos pa. But now, so I need to use the resources that I have. All right, so let's start. Okay, before we start with our discussion, we have fact check first. So there are questions here, and then try to answer. If you know the answer, then you can answer from there. Kung asa man mo karon. So just checking your knowledge if you know this. Naani siya kinalaman about media and internet, of course. So first question, who do you think created the Facebook? So I'll count siguro 5 seconds. Who created the Facebook? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so the creator of Facebook is Mark Zuckerberg. So that's him. Mark Zuckerberg is the creator of the Facebook, which we use a lot of time nowadays. Next question. Who invented the telephone? 5 seconds. All right, so the answer to this question is Alexander Graham Bell. That's him. Okay, and unsa itsura sa first ever telephone? So yes, that's it. And you can also search sa Google or YouTube for if you like other references, no? Okay, and by the way, I know we have English only policy during discussion or lecture, but let me speak in Bisaya and Tagalog also so that I can explain or expound much more or better. Okay, next question. What was the first ever daily newspaper in the Philippines? The first ever daily newspaper in the Philippines. I'll give you 5 seconds. All right, so the answer is La Esperanza. So if you have read in advance the module, so I think you answered it correctly. So the first ever daily newspaper in the Philippines is La Esperanza. So those facts about media and the internet, ato na silang makahalubilo as we go on with our topic. But you don't actually need to memorize those. You just have to familiarize those, the facts, right? Next, let's proceed with the proper discussion. All right, so media literacy and information literacy. Let us define both. So when we say media literacy, I know that when we say media, actually, if online interaction, I will be asking you if what comes to your mind first. If we say media or makabasa ta og media, what comes to your mind first? But since I cannot hear your answers, okay, let's proceed. When we say media, di ba? ang una pumapasok sa isip natin is television or radio, news, diba? We say media. When we say information, data or any information that we need to know. So let's define media literacy first, and then let's differentiate that, or let's define also the information literacy. When we say media literacy, it is the ability to identify different types of media and understand the messages they're sending. So I underline the phrase to identify. That's your keyword. So that if ever you makita mo question, pag sinabing the ability to identify the different types of media, agad-agad, that is media literacy. So if you know kung anong klaseng media, for example, you know that television, and anong nagagawa ng television, diba, nakakapanood tayo ng news or mga information, entertainment. So if alam natin yan, then may ability tayo, then we are media literate. So that is media literacy. Now when we say information literacy, it is different because it is a set of abilities requiring individuals to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. So I underlined to recognize. If you have the ability to recognize kung kanus ani mo kinahanglan or unsa nga information imong kinahanglan, asa nimo kuhaon ang information, and unsaon nimo paggamit ana nga information in a proper way, then that is what we mean by the information literacy. So magkaiba yan sila. Pag sinabing the ability to identify the different types of media, that is media literacy. And when we say the ability to recognize when information is needed, so that is information literacy. Next, let's navigate the media and the internet in the digital age. So the digital age means now, the present, because we are using nainiaging tadikab. Let's continue. Okay, when we say digital age, that is now the present because we use computers and mobile phones and for communication and technology. Meaning madami ng technology na ginagamit nato karon, daghan na. And so we are in a digital age and we use media and internet a lot. All right, so here is a quote from Karim Rashid: "There are no boundaries or borders in the digital age." So do you agree? There are no boundaries or borders in the digital age. So I'll give you an example of this. It's, for example, the communication. Before, our lolos and our lolas are sending messages through letters, and then umaabot pa yan ng weeks or months before makaabot dito sa ilahang padalhan sa letter. And also, kung mo-respond ang katong gipadalhan ng letter, another weeks na pod and months before na pod maabot ang letter. But now, today that we are in a digital age, seconds lang maabot na sa atua ang message, or we can send the message right away, immediately. So that's the difference before and now. So now that we are in the digital age, wala na masyadong boundaries. Wala nang limitation. And sa other sections, when I had online interaction with them, sabi nila, nothing is impossible na. Nothing is impossible na daw. So, that's how I can expound the quote of Rashid. Now, for the communication and the media, so there are questions here. Do you have a mobile phone? I'm sure yes. Have you sent a letter or document via email? Some of the students that I asked this question, they said they haven't yet, and a small percentage of the students that I asked said that they did because their teacher before obliged them or gipabuhat sila as a project. Next, do you have a Facebook account? For sure. Siguro even ang mga baby, mga kids na rin Facebook account because ginabuhatan sila sa ilahang parents. But for students, I'm sure na yung Facebook account. Next, have you tried video calls on, I'm sorry, di maklaro, that's Messenger. So, I'm sure nakasulay na mo og video call via Messenger or other apps like Google Meet and Zoom. Like, namin mga mobile apps for video calls. I know that you already know that. And then, next, let's proceed with the communication and communications. So, you can actually read this from your on your module. But for those who are having a hard time to understand the difference between the two, all right, let me show you. When we say communication, it is the process of sharing ideas and opinions through various channels with the intent to gain common understanding. I'm sorry, dili maklaro. That is understanding. So I underlined the phrase, it's the process of sharing ideas and opinions through various channels with the intent to gain common understanding. So that is communication. It's a process. Pag sinabing process of sharing ideas, then agad-agad that is communication. Now, what is the difference of communications with an S? So let us define communications. It refers to the technical means of communication or the channels through which messages are conveyed. So I underline the technical means because the technical means are, for example, the gadgets, the laptop, the mobile phones that we use. That is the technical means. So pag sinabing the technical means, so anong ginamit natin for the communication to take place? That is communications with an S. So the process of sharing ideas is communication, and then the technical means, or kung anong ginamit natin, that is part of the communications with an S. Right, next, let's define media and information. This is very important also that we know the definition of these. Media, in general, it refers to various means of communication. And there are two types, the traditional media and new media, which we are going to tackle or expound as we go on with the next lessons. So, you just have to familiarize that kapag sinabing various means or iba't ibang paraan ng communication, that is the media. Okay, and as examples, then television, radio, the computer, the social media, that's it. Then, when we say information, it's very simple because it just refers to the message conveyed by a sender to its recipient. So that is very understandable naman. The message conveyed, then that is the information. All right, so this illustration, I know you can see this in the module. So just look at it and familiarize the process of communication. The interactor, then the interactor can send a message to another interactor, and then using the medium, and then the interactor can then respond or react. So that is just the process. Let's proceed with the process of, or the elements that characterize the communication process. So there are elements because the communication is a process, and therefore there are elements that if kulang og isa ka element, that means dili kompleto ang process of communication. So the elements are, first, the interactors. They can be the sender or yung nagpapadala ng message, at the recipient or the receiver. Next element is the message or information, because if you communicate with someone, dili gina pwede na wala kay message or information. Next is the medium, or ano bang ginamit? For example, mobile phone or mobile app, the messenger. Next element is the feedback or reaction. This is also an important element because kung nagsulti ka and then walay reaction or response sa imong gisultian, then there's no communication at all, diba? Walay communication. Ikaw lang, igo lang ka nag-speak. So feedback and reaction is a very important element. And the last one is communication environment, or the setting. Where does the communication takes place? And is the environment positive or negative? So those are the elements that characterize the communication process. Okay. Next, all right, so a quick review so that you can remember the things that we discussed. Okay. Okay, there are no questions. I think other. Wait, wait lang ha. So this is just a technical problem. Okay, so I cannot see the questions. Alright, so let's proceed na lang because time is running and I cannot edit this out. Sige. Let's proceed with the next lesson, growing up with media and the internet. So what are your habits on social media? I'm sure you have Facebook, you have Instagram, some of you may have Twitter and Pinterest, yes, and other apps on your phone. And siguro you are not watching television na as much, or maybe some of you are watching television and some of you are still enjoy listening to the radio. So just think about your habits in social media. Early in the morning ba naga-TV or naga-radio or Facebook agad? So we have different habits on media. Let's talk about the generations. Okay. So we have those who are born between 1945 to 1964. They are called baby boomers. So mga lola at saka mga lola natin yan. And most of them don't know how to use computer or technology. Kailangan pa nato sila tudluan or kanang balik-balik nga tudlo good para makabalog yun sila, 'di ba? But some of our lolos and lolas are they know how to use, but majority of them cannot really parang in one night ba, if they, for example, they use cell phone, 'di ba, mangutana gyud na sila kung unsaon ni unsaon na. So their generation is called baby boomers. Next, if they are born between 1965 to 1976, that is the generation X, most probably our mothers and fathers. And some of them dili jud pod kaayo kabalo, but because ang mga anak or kamo kabalo na mo, then pwede kayo mo mutabang sa inyong mothers. And fathers medyo ano lang, siguro it takes time para makabalo sila unsaon paggamit sa technology. Next generation is the millennials. If you are born between 1977 to 2000, you are part of the millennial generation. And millennials are also called part of the generation Y. Generation Y. And I'm sure you're asking kung asa mo dapit because siguro 2000 up na mo na tao or na panganak. So, actually, you are part of the generation Z. Right? Pasunod na sila. Generation X, millennials or generation Y, and then generation Z. Okay. Next, media channels and technologies. If you're asking what are some of the examples, so examples of these are television set, radio, newspaper and magazine, video players, camcorders, MP3 players, computer laptops, tablet, mobile phones, telephones, and the like. So those are the examples of media channels and technologies. Okay, so let's proceed with some facts about Filipinos. 44 million Filipinos use the internet. And I know siguro ni taas na ni ang ihap sa mga Filipino because of the pandemic also, kay naarata sa balay. And then the third largest number of Facebook subscribers in Asia. That means daghan kaayong Filipino ang naay Facebook account. Next, Filipinos spend 21.5 hours weekly on the internet. And I'm sure some of you medyo mula pas pag 21.5 hours weekly, depending on the use or the purpose. Next, for the last topic, there is a media and information literate characteristics. So, paano ba natin masasabi na you are media and information literate? So, mao ni siya mga characteristics. Number 1, you are an efficient information manager. So, I know that napod ni siya sa module na explain na dito. So, you are an efficient information manager if, for example, you're looking for information or data in the internet and then you know how to store it sa data folders, sa filers, digitally. And if you are familiar with Dropbox and Google Drive, because dito manggod pa din ninyo i-save ang inyong mga files, and then you can also access them anytime, basta naalang kay internet connection. So you are an efficient information manager if you know how to look the information and how to store and organize the information that you have. Next is, you're a wise consumer, meaning dili ka dali mailad. Dili ka dali mailad. Nganong dili ka dali mailad? Because you are well informed. Before ka mo palit og product, you read the description, you read the reviews, and you do the research so that dili ka mailad kung nakay paliton nga product. Next is, you are a responsible producer. So every day, for example, sa Facebook nato, we post our status and we share pictures, and we are a responsible producer if tama ang ato ang gi-share, meaning appropriate ang ato ang gi-share, tama and useful to other people, and walay mali or walay dili fake news ang imuhang gi-share. So we need to look for the source, kung tinuod ba gyud ang source nga ato ang gi-share, because kung mali or fake news da ito ang ato ang gi-share, then maapektuhan pod ang katong mga nakabasa. And much worse, gi-share pod nila sa uban, daghan na kaayo ang wala na misinformed, kumbaga. So we need to be responsible producers of the information that we share. Okay, next is, we are a media and information literate if we are active participants in social events. So I can't really parang naglisod ko hatag og example ani, but so just as, for example, there's a group or organization that naa sila'y gathering. For example, it is a gathering of people that are interested in helping the mother nature. So they have their purpose, they want to plant trees. Okay, so kay kung kabalo magud ang ana nga naay organization or group nga ing ana naga-care for the environment, that if natay information, correct ang ato ang information, then we can join them so that, or we can participate sa ilahang purpose or sa ilahang mga event or sa ilahang gathering. So if we are well informed, then we can be part of the group and then help them protect the mother nature. So mo na siya mga characteristic if you are already media and information literate. Okay, so actually the next slide is quiz ninyo so that I can evaluate if you really understood. But okay, so I will still show it na lang, and then you can send me your answers, because other sections gipa-answer man ako and then gisend sa ako, and then nahuman na ako check ato na lang nabilin nga section, HERA and ATHENA, right? If I'm not mistaken, ATHENA and HERA. Okay, so here's the quiz. So the question is, am I media and information literate? So there are situations, I will be reading the situations and answer lang ninyo yes or no. So get a piece of paper, 1/4 sheet of paper. Ma'am, wala ako 1/4 sheet of paper, then get another kind of paper, basta clear lang siya and readable. Okay, so again, the answer will be yes or no lang. Okay. So, number 1, am I media and information literate if I respect other people's privacy? Yes or no? Also, don't worry. I will also send a screenshot of this to our group chat so that everybody can answer. Number 2, am I media and information literate if I hack my friend's Facebook account? Number 3, Am I media and information literate if I actively participate in social events with good advocacy? Next, am I media and information literate if I use information legally? And then for the last number, am I media and information literate if I sell fake whitening soaps on Facebook? Okay, so you can pause so that you can read again and make sure that your answer is the best answer. And I will also take a screenshot of this and then send to our group chat. Okay, so thank you very much, students, for listening to this recorded lecture. And I will be recording another lectures also for the following weeks so that we can learn more. So thank you very much and see you again next time.